First thing that we can notice here is that we have a new landing zone for the Sundial. And talk to me a little bit about the inspirations and the design motivations that went into breathing some new life into Mercury.
In Mercury, we had this really good opportunity from narrative to really clash all these different timelines. You got past, you got present, you got future, and as artists, we wanted to see a lot of these assets again. So we just figured out how to make this as epic and as beautiful as possible. And then suddenly we had the idea what if we just put all of them all together? And it was daunting. It was really scary because there's a lot of technical challenges. We had to go around with lighting. We had to go around with world art and just it over and over again to make sure they actually got it all working with these giant time walls and everything. But in the end, it was worth it. I'm really proud of the work we were able to do.
So we're going to be fighting our way up this slope here.
Yeah.
Matt, the sundial is sort of emerging in the distance. This is Osiris's device that he can use to sort of control the corridors of time, all the alternate realities. What were some of the themes and what were some of the different motivations that we embraced as we created this new action for the player?
Once we learned where we were going on the narrative front, Jonto, I'm so sorry, but it was obviously time cops stopping time crimes.
Time cops stopping time crimes.
And yeah, you can see players here. They just engaged with one of our new Cabal champions.
All right, and so here is this enormous device.
Thanks.
What were some of the different inspirations for creating this new structure? It's pretty daunting.
So for Sundial, we had to make this crazy time machine. It's super dangerous. It's trying to borrow a lot from this Vex tech, and then Osiris, this mystical arcane person's I got an idea, and he's built this crazy thing. So we had to mix a lot of these structures of this really cool visual effects language that we have for Vex, a lot of grids and stuff, and then try to immerse some of the really instrumental technical stuff that Osiris has, which is more inspired from the 18th century nautical instruments and stuff. And then we just built it, and it looks great. I love it.
So like we have set up in other activities, that was a totem they just interacted with, and that started the encounter. And it looks like they're in the future encounter here.
I love this one.
Yeah.
So they step through an aperture into a different alternate reality, into a different timeline, and
this is what could come to pass.
Pardon me?
This is what could come to pass.
What could come to pass if we are not victorious. And when they activate this activity and they step through that window, they're not entirely certain what they're going to get. This can be different combinations of timelines. It's going to be different every time they access the activity, yeah?
Yes, and the activity bosses will evolve. They will, week to week, they'll roll out a new one. And there's some surprises I really wish I could talk about, but I really wish I could talk about, but I'm super excited for players to find out what it is. As the season rolls on.
And to your point, yeah, week over week, there will be different bosses for them to face at the end of this activity. Our enemies have some tricks up their sleeves that will be revealed and understood over time. So your first experience with the Sundial will certainly not be like your last experience with the Sundial, and it'll be a varied experience. So
and the activity can't. You'll always complete it. It doesn't matter who you matchmake with. And so if players find themselves with you, they'll still be able to complete especially UD, they'll still be able to complete the activity.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shade.
Especially so yeah, the whole one of the goals for when we set this up is it's not a traditional horde mode. There are mechanics in here, and you'll find that there's a lot of different strategies you can incorporate in order to get through the activity and earn your rewards as fast as possible.
Yeah, okay.
And when hard mode comes out, you're gonna want to bring some friends that have, that have leveled up their artifact and gotten better mods to be able to use against.
So point of order, the Sundial is a 6-player match-made activity.
Correct.
I can bring a pre-made 6-player fire team if I want. Obviously, a team that can communicate with each other and coordinate with each other can complete this activity more efficiently, more quickly, get to that loot at the end. But in terms of hard mode, that does require a pre-made fire team.
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna
just want to set those expectations appropriately for our community. So we got some big bad bosses here.
I think players are going to really enjoy the new champions.
One of the big challenges you have to figure out for this particular encounter is that we had to like be able to throw this ball that creates this giant laser and stuff. So I'm so glad we got that in there. But like one of the difficulties is that you're looking at this really bright skybox, and we had to make a laser like be brighter than the sun when we got on Mercury, and that was a challenge. I'm glad we got it working, but like my gosh, we had to iterate a lot on that one.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what the players are doing right now. They're picking up these charges. How exactly are they using these to overcome the tactical conditions
So in this
here?
possible future, the Cabal have won. They've learned to potentially weaponize the light, and they have all their ships just in orbit, and you're basically, thematically, you're just basically saying, stop hitting yourself. You're throwing their kind of beacons. He's like, I remember we were early in production, I went up to John, I'm like, can we get a line that says, "Idiots, turn off the laser!" It just cracked me up, but I don't think we got it. There might be a random chance, guys. I don't know, but it entertained me greatly.
I remember in production, like when you first came up to me, like, hey, we got this prototype working. I saw it, I was like, my gosh, how are we gonna pull this off?
I'm gonna blow up the whole goddamn world with this thing. That's the power of fantasy here.
The Sundial itself, it looks like a very dangerous thing. It looks like the type of thing that your mother would tell you not to play on, and here we're sending 6 people up on that thing to play with time. What were some of the different discoveries that you make along the way through playtest with the Sundial specifically?
Make friends. I'm just kidding.
No, it was actually it was kind of humbling, and it just kind of it was a great exercise in just user experience, because you spend all this time building encounters, building mechanics, and tweaking things, iterating, and some of the most fun that we had in playtests, and we were noticing is players just like killing themselves. They really just like to entertain themselves by just being murdered over and over and over again. So the Sundial, it probably has some design flaws. Osiris, he was just
It's a feature.
Yeah,
it's a feature.
yeah, there they go.
In some timelines they die, in some timelines they make it, You can't control time.
Yeah. Well, we encourage you all to be very careful as you play on the Sundial. That's the end of the first encounter, and there are several more encounters that would lead to the final boss. Yep. We will unveil different final bosses week over week, and that's as far as we're going to go with all this today.